Okay, so in this video, we're just gonna do like a live CADing session of me making an intake. Um, First of all, we're going to go to the master sketch, if I can find it. Yeah, we're gonna go to master sketch. I'm gonna make something for the intake. You guys don't have to worry about this. This is what I would do. You guys would probably be like texting me, uh, like telling me, oh, this goes there, that goes there, whatever. I will be back once I finish it. Okay, so now we have our intake created, right, in our master sketch. Again, this is what, I would do, and then working next to whoever's, I guess, the FPM and CADers, right? Um, and then what you would create your intake document. We'll call this, we'll just name this intake uh, parts, and then you name your assembly. This is a new document, by the way. Intake stub assembly. Okay, uh, one thing I guess I forgot to say is you can move this panel here. You can like make it larger. I highly recommend to make it at least decently large, or rather wide, so that you can see the entire name of some of the sketches because they do get pretty long. And we're gonna first derive from where's derived? Yeah, we're gonna derive from our um, what's it called? Our master sketch, right? So we have our master sketch right here. We're going to derive our intake parts, or intake sketches rather. And then I guess why not? We can also derive our drivetrain parts if we'd like. Um, we do arm as well. It doesn't hurt to do arm. I think that's pretty much it. We don't need like the arm mount stuff since this is on the other side of the robot. And that's it. And then we will rename this to derived from master sketch. Well, you'll notice though. Oh, and actually no. Before we do that, we will also derive from drivetrain. We always want to derive the. Uh, Then we can find those. The other makes sense. Yeah, we always want to derive the drivetrain. Oh, no, this is the wrong one. We always want to derive the 2x1s so that we can use those 2x1s from drivetrain to build off of basically. Once we have that, we will rename this to derived from drivetrain, and then we are going to make this a composite part, closed, right? This is all kind of the setup. And it's something, you might notice this interference here. Actually, I'll explain what this sketch even means to start. Basically, our intake is going to comprise of two gussets. One gusset is stationary, so the one gusset will be like right here, and then one gusset will be shaped like this, kind of like that. Not a great drawing, but it'll be like that. And then at the end of or at each of these points right here, so that's like that point right there. There will be wheels, right, that spin like an intake, right? What I will say though is that you notice that there are two of these. This does not mean two gussets. All this means is like one is just rotated. So this is just one, right? But this just means it's like it can rotate. So like this single gusset here can rotate to this position if it wants to, rotate back if it wants to, things like that. And then these like concentric circles, this means a bearing, which I feel like it's pretty obvious. If it's spinning, you would want a bearing. This 1.5 would hypothetically, let's say the 1.5 denotes, it doesn't always, but in this case, let's say it means a pulley, right? We have is it called pulley? I think it is. And then we have our belt, I think. Yeah, we have like a belt that goes around here, and this belt is meant to like one side of the one belt might be used to spin the actual gusset, the other belt might be to spin the these rollers, the roller wheels, I guess. And yeah, so from there you can kind of CAD your entire feature. Um, and I guess the other thing I did want to point out is you notice that this is going to be this is interfering with the drivetrain, which means we have to move this up, right? We have to move this pulley, the location of this pulley. We have to move it up a little bit, or we can move it anywhere else. It doesn't matter too much. But you would tell me to do that. Or if you're a really experienced FPM and CAD, you can do it yourself as well. You always want to edit the reference sketch if you're going to edit this. Ideally, you want to talk to me about it. You don't want to edit it yourself, just so that we're doing it correctly. And then you just move this up to any desired height. Let's say the bottom of this is, the bottom, let's say, is 0.75, right? Again, most of that is going to be me doing it. You would just tell me you need this moved by how much, and then like you can sit next to me and I show you it. If you think it's good, we can update it, or yeah, make a new version, and then no, not here. You would update this, right? And then now this will move up, and then now you can keep CADing. So I will show you. I wish I could do time lapse, but I will, cut a couple times to show you what the CAD progress looks like. Yeah. So I will first create the gusset, the stationary gusset. And actually, before I make the gusset, you can copy the planes that are used for these sketches, so you can also use those planes. Sorry, not copy, but derive those planes, right? And here I clicked derive, and then I found these two planes right here and here. So that way I can, when I start to create my gusset, I can actually use it there. Okay, so we have made our gusset now, and I want to show that some of this is like I'm directly, connecting some of this to the master sketch, derived master sketches. Um, Absolutely do that, because obviously that is the whole point of the master sketch. Um, yeah, from here we can do something called lighten. Basically, it lightens your parts. So to remove. So, hold on, give me a sec. The other thing is, if you ever have screw holes you want to, holes you want to create for screws, you can use project to directly paste these holes onto um, your extrude. We're going to use Cheez-It because Cheez-It's very nice for this. Um, yeah, and then of course you want to do your fillet stuff, not too bad. Quickly, I don't like this to admit too long. So then use your fillet. Not too bad. So your gusset would look like this. It looks a little funny, but yeah. The folder, we'll call this arm, no, intake. No, gusset, or we can say stationary. That's it. And name, and we'll name our part the exact same. And then now I'm going to cut to when I've completed the other gusset. Something that is pretty cool. So what you'll notice is I projected the actual arc into this new sketch of our moving gusset. Well, you can use something called slot, which will just do that for you, and then you can increase the radius like 0.75. Oh no, we have to keep going. Let's say 1.5. All right, that looks good. So then, actually, this might be a little sketch. So we're going to do 1.75, and that looks fine to me. So once you have that, yeah. Once you have that, you can then, do your extrusion stuff. There you go. Now you have your second gusset. And this would be 1.25 for the bearings thickness. That don't worry too much about. I mean, yeah, you have your Henry gusset. We can quickly get to everything. Folder, intake, moving, gusset, right? I'm not gonna show the assembly portion. Actually, let's make sure we cover all of this. I'm not, yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna cover the assembly portion because the assembly portion isn't too different, and this video is getting pretty long. I don't want to keep you guys here for too long. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll change our color for this. The one thing I will say that has not changed from last year, also these should be white. The one thing that has not really changed is the fact that we are still going to create like the axles, shafts, I guess. We're still going to create in the assembly studio. So if you notice here for arm, the assembly studio, this distance is still, or this is still made. This axle is still inserted through MKCAD right here. Uh, Actually, let me see if you can do that in here. If we can do that in here, that's probably over. Hold on. Okay, so the one we will still insert like shafts in the assembly studio, except you can change configuration right here. You can change configuration like the length mainly. Just know that it is right here. Change configuration. It's nice that it's like right next to the name. Um, yeah, that's the only thing I want to cover about that. But yeah, that's how you would use a master sketch to create gusset or 2x1. A 2x1's pretty easy, but yeah, a gusset directly off of it is a little more challenging. That's pretty much it. Yeah. I'm not gonna assemble it here, and I'm not gonna assemble it in the assembly studio because I have other videos to record. I have one more video to record after this one. And that's it. Yeah. For you guys, this is your last video, so congratulations, you are done with this document. And I soon shall be done too.